EP.7 podcast. I'm your host, Pat.
I'm your host, Fred.
And today we're going to try to tap into breaking generational curses.
Generational curses.
So, first of all, what's the meaning of a generational curse? Because I don't think a lot of people understand the true meaning of it.
Okay. In a generational curse, it's more like a behavior that happens from one generation to another generation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things can be a generational curse. Your finances can be a generated curse. I mean, it could be your family, how your family reacts, how they deal with other people, other sexes. It can be infidelity can be a generational curse. So a lot of things can be a generational curse. There's things that happen over time and from one generation to another generation.
Okay.
And it's continuous. And therefore we think the first thing we say, it's a generational curse. If my great granddaddy did it and his father did it and his father did it, and then all of a sudden my father did it and I'm still doing it, therefore that's a generational curse.
Okay, so kind of like you done made a tradition where this is a
Right.
repeat effect of what we're going to keep going within our family.
Right. Unknowingly now.
Okay.
Now, it's not like you say, I'm just going to come out, as soon as I get to a certain age, I'm going to do what my dad did. No, it's not like a saying that you're just going to, I just look at it and I'm like, you know what? Because he did it, I'm going to do it. It's not like that. It's like the thing that happens, it happens unexpected.
Right. And I know, so to break that down to a lot of people, so one ways might be in, let's say I can't say modern because it started a while back. Let's say growing up with single or parent household, the father not being their child life, so that stuff like that, or if your cousin Ray known to having a whole bunch of kids, your uncle didn't did that, back in the day, and did the same thing, stuff like that, or bad with finance, and or not being a homeowner, stuff like that is what get passed down the line of generation of curses.
Right. And the only thing about that passed down the line, I don't think it's passed down the line. It basically becomes a learned behavior.
Okay.
So if it says, I see it, you may not talk about it, but if I see it, I'm learning it. So remember, you can do a whole lot of things about learning. I can either see it, I can hear it, or I can do it. So sometimes if I hear it or I see it, unconsciously, I start to do what I've seen and what I've heard. So first thing we say is it's a generational curse. It's a curse in the fact that we're teaching our kids. We're teaching the next generation. We're teaching the one where you're going out and you sit around and I'm having 4 or 5 babies, and therefore they seeing that we got 4 or 5 babies. I got 4 or 5 baby mamas. So therefore I'm teaching the next generation. Even though unknowingly I'm teaching them. I'm not saying go out and do this. You know what? You do this and you have that. No, they're watching you. They're listening to you. And as they're watching and listening unconsciously, they're doing what you say and what you're doing.
So and things like that became the norm. Just like if you really sit down, not judging nobody, not judging nobody. If you really sit down and think, like you decided to, have children by multiple women, so now you have multiple women, and you're not with any of them, and now each child have to have this experience of growing up to have different fathers and all this stuff that keep getting passed down unknowingly now passed down just by, and we just talking about just off of relationships, just off of having multiple children with different women. So how do you feel? Well, wait before I ask that question. So the next question was going to be how to break generational curses.
First of all, if you're trying to break something, you need to be strong. The mind must be strong. If you don't have a strong mind, it's kind of hard to shake it. And now, first of all, if you got a strong mind, the first step of solving anything, don't make a difference what it is first realize that there's a problem. If you never identify a problem, you can never have a solution. So if you say, I'm going to break a generational curse, remember, these curses are just learned behaviors. And therefore, like he was saying before, like if you had I'm watching my father have 4 or 5 kids by 4 or 5 women. I'm seeing my mama having 4 or 5 kids by 4 or 5 men. I'm learning that behavior. So I'm recognizing that, you know what? I'm not going to do what my mama did. But sometimes you can say it, but you don't actually physically go out and work that plan. If you don't work a plan, it ain't going to be a plan. It's not an ideal. So you may say, I'm not going to be like my mama. I'm not like going to be like my daddy, but that's cool. But then circumstances can dictate something different. Because remember, if you're always looking at someone else to make you happy and stable in that fact, where you don't have to do what your parents did, then you can sit around and say, you know what, that's going to be all right. But people don't do that because people are raised different. My household is raised different from your household. So if I'm going to break the first curse, the first thing I'm going to do is identify that there is a problem. Now, remember, if I find there's a problem, my job is to come up with a solution. Not every solution is a solution for all. So if I said, hey, I did this right here and I did that, that made the solution. I mean, it can be a solution for you, but it may not be a solution for me based on my state of mind. Because if emotion drives me, that means it's not going to work for me. Because therefore, I'm the kind that sit around when you look at emotional. Remember, emotions do not drive you. It don't drive me. So many people like, oh, I'm happy, I'm glad, I'm sad, I'm even killed every day. So it's not going to be like, oh, Ray going on a big vacation. Ooh, he's so happy, he's so smiling. No, I don't do that. It don't make sense. But when you're trying to break a generational curse, again, first identify that you have a problem or you have a problem within your family that you do not want to partake in.
Right.
So if you identify the problem, the next step is go through life looking and identifying every time that problem presents itself. So let's say, for example, I have in my family and generations, let's say, for example, if you got a infidelity, whole lot of infidelity. I got multiple what is it? I don't know. I keep saying like my father be like step kid, but I'm not a step kid, but I have step brothers and step sisters, right? So I'm looking at opportunity. Like if you go to the part and you say, you know what, you meet this woman, and the first thing you say in your mind is, you know what, I'm not gonna do what my father did or what his father did. So guess what? I'm gonna be cautious. So I'm not gonna rush into a relationship. I'm not gonna go and say, you know what? All I want to do is have sex. So if I go and have sex, there's a possibility I'm gonna have a baby. Then I'm just like my dad. I'm just like his dad. I'm like his dad before him. But the first step again is to identify the problem and always stay conscious of what's going on in your life to prevent it from happening. It takes more than one word. It takes more than just simply looking at it one time. It's every phase of your life. If somebody comes up to you, and if that's saying we're still talking about the one with infidelity, if somebody comes up to you, you always have to put into that mindset, is this following what I don't want to do? But again, generational curses are hard, definitely hard to stop. But it first starts with identification. Identification, identify, and thinking. You got to be thinking every single day, because if you're dealing with the same topic we're talking about with infidelity, if a woman comes up to you, you must first say, you know what, this could be a case where this is going to shake my foundation, which I don't want to happen. Or therefore, I'm taking precautionary measures. And if you're taking precautionary measures, you don't rush into anything. So, like I say, it's kind of really hard to sit around and say, I'm going to stop the generational curse. But you got to first identify it and you got to work at it. This is a life journey. That means you're going to work your whole life to stop this from happening. And remember, don't mean a certain age it happens. You can be a certain age and be like, oh man, when I get this age, I'll be out. No, it's a new generation. People having babies when they're 50, 60. It's just a new generation. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you got to put on your battle gear every single day that you walk out your house, every single day. And think about you sitting around there. Things also, You know, you watching it on TV. We watching on TV. We seeing other people around the neighborhood doing the same thing. So it's hard without identifying and sticking to your values.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stick to your values. Another thing. So again, identify. Always work. Always reflect on your beliefs. And if you reflect on your beliefs, that generational curse can actually go away. And then you can teach your kids. Because remember, this is a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So you can teach your kids and they can teach their kids. And remember, guard their eye gates. That means don't let them go sit around and watch everything on TV because that's open up their eye gate to it. Don't let them sit around and listen to all this rap music where they sit around talking about sex and having sex with multiple women. So therefore they're opening their ear gates.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can close that somewhat, and we can't close it all, but if we can continue to talk to them, and therefore that generational curse can now change.
Mm-hmm.
So over time it can change, but it ain't gonna change without a whole lot of work and a whole lot of teaching and a whole lot of guidance between you and your children in order to break this generational curse.
Okay. As a parent, you can control that. Like you say,
Mm-hmm.
one way or another, your child is gonna learn.
Yeah,
Are they gonna learn from you or learn from somebody
they
else?
gonna learn it.
Like you mentioned, watching a music video and seeing everybody with all these guns and seeing
Yeah,
all these women out here naked and stuff.
yeah,
Like I said, so that stuff just is feeding into their mind. They learning,
yeah.
and like if you don't put no stop to it or put them in control of environment where they can learn
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking at the learning age
Yeah,
from a newborn until I say 18 is
right,
your 18 years where you can really instill in them some good positive
right,
uh, 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 information and skills, even from the stuff that you learn or stuff
yeah,
even we learn stuff every day. So
right.
if you beat society to it,
Mm-hmm.
that can help break generation curse because
Right,
if you don't just imagine you have a child and you don't teach them at all,
right,
you just just do the bare minimum, feed them,
right.
clothe them, let them out of society, let them go to school, let school teach them, and
Mm-hmm.
let their friends and let them watch TV and do all the different stuff. Then
Right.
they still gonna learn. They're gonna be able to function, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be functioning properly. And that
Right.
when all these generation curses come along in
Right.
modern time. So
Right. So we didn't even talk about the word generational wealth. Okay. Remember, we just talked about the one about infidelity, right?
mhm,
But think about the one financially. Remember, we always sit around talking about, you know what? My dad ain't never had nothing. I
mhm,
ain't never had nothing. And then we sit around, we watching videos where people are actually taking money, throwing it up in the air.
mhm,
That means you're giving less meaning to it. So therefore, if it's less meaning to it, that means I don't really want to hold on to it.
mhm,
I want to play with it. That's why you see more kids gambling money. Why would you sit around and gamble money when you got money? I'm like this. If I got $1 billion, trust me, I'm not going to gamble my money trying to win another billion. I got $1 billion. There's more money I can spend in my lifetime.
mhm,
Why am I gambling my money? Therefore, I don't respect it. I don't
mhm,
consider it valuable. And the problem is that's a learned behavior. If I sit
mhm,
around there and watch you as a parent go out and fiercely throw money away, not just sit around as, going to strip clubs or something.
mhm,
But let's say, for example, we're going out to eat. We're paying $50, $60, $70 out to eat every time. I said, you know what? Instead of just saying, you know what? I'm gonna save some money. We're gonna do this money. We're gonna work toward having a large vacation this year.
mhm,
So we're not gonna eat out that much.
mhm.
So therefore, we are stopping that generational curse of saying, you know what? We no longer have any money.
Right.
We can't do this. We can't do that. But instead, remember, these are learned behaviors.
Mhm,
So if we sit around and start teaching our kids how to save our money and then look around and say, you know what? We're saving it for something.
mhm,
Therefore, it has meaning. Now, a dollar just not a dollar anymore. Because a dollar, what's a dollar in a day? I mean, what's the value of a dollar? We always think about, oh, the US dollar is worth so and so. No, no, no. The value of dollar to you. We ain't worry about what it is to a country. We're
mhm,
talking about to you. So if I say that I'm gonna take this dollar and this dollar going toward this part, the dollar become valuable because it has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't have a purpose, that means we're playing. So our generation curse says, you know what? Let's just go ahead on and just spend the money. We get the money, we spend the money. We get the money, we spend the money. And the money, and over time, it loses its value.
Mm-hmm.
Value to us and to our family. Remember, we're trying to get generational wealth. Therefore, we're falling into generational curse
Mm-hmm.
because we're constantly doing one thing, following somebody else. We're watching it, we're hearing it, and that's how it looks, and that's how we perceive life to be, and that's what we're gonna do.
And we have terms like, "Oh, I can't take it with me,"
Yeah,
and that right
yeah,
there is part of the problem. Like,
yeah,
yes, you can't take it with you, but think about who you leaving behind. You
yeah.
know, whether you have a lot of kids or don't have no kids at all, you still have a family. You have a last name, so
Right.
at least live your life, enjoy your life, and
Yeah. Don't always enjoy your life.
once you decide to, you don't want the money no more, or you feel like you can't take it with you, invest, do something to help the next your heir, do something to help the next generation.
Right.
You can help anybody, but let's say we're talking about generation curse, help the next the next generation of your family.
Right.
You have people who decided, they're gonna be the first millionaire in their family, or they're gonna be the
Right.
first successful person in their family. So they bring that generation curse, and then they pass and stuff along. So
Right.
if it's in a sense, we just use a script for example. If I know somebody who would go in there, take $2,000 out and one just throw it.
Yeah.
You didn't did that, man. You gonna spend it regardless. You could at least, even sound so, you could at least, you know, save that money to buy some land or something, or start working on building the community up, or something that gonna actually go into effect where you actually breaking a generational curse, because you can't complain about the neighborhood all ran down, man. It's bored in my city where I live at, and if it's bored, you want to break generational curse, you're gonna spend this money, invest into your city.
Yeah.
If you don't complain about the mayor not doing nothing and the governor not doing nothing, and this and that. Now I ain't saying you're gonna fix a major problem like fix the roads or something like that, but when it comes to if your neighborhood look ran down, like it's say everybody, it don't matter where you live at, you can go and think about, oh man, I know this area used to be real nice, but do something to fix it. If you see some vacant property, you got you a lawnmower. You spending money anyway. Hey, put some gas in that lawnmower just for one day and just go cut all the vacant property, y'all. The city ain't gonna do anything. You can complaining on them. This is years after year after year saying, oh, they need to do this. If you see it ain't being done, do it. And that money not waste, because, like I said, once again, this is the same guy who threw $2,000 in the strip club last night. So invest that $2,000 to your community, stretch it out, because something like cutting grass and paint a house. It might sound crazy, but hey, paint an abandoned house, but if you actually study on this, you actually have some value behind it. If you make it a repeat process, it's laws about once you keep this property up so long, you can own that property.
Yeah.
So we ain't discussing that today, but the point of it is breaking generations of curse of stuff. Some of the simplest stuff you can do and change things. So you gonna, if we know we letting this neighborhood run down, you just gonna pass it on to the next generation. Ain't nobody gonna fix this generation.
Right.
We gonna keep declining, because somebody gonna come eventually and buy it up. So they been past breaking generation curses. They'll come and wait till we tear it down, whatever, and come buy the whole neighborhood of it and re what it is,
remodel
it. So stuff like that. That's part of breaking generational curses.
Yeah, because remember, money is for the living, not the dead. Now, if you could break a generational curse, wouldn't that be purposeful to prepare for the next generation? So it's not like I say, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. If I'm the first, am I not the first and only? I don't want to be the first and the only. I want to be the first of many. So therefore, I want to put my people in a position to be the next millionaire in the family, and in order for their kids to be the next millionaire in the family. So I don't want to start with just me. I want to start with me, but I want to end with me. See, sometimes we sit around, we get to the part, we talking about breaking a curse, and therefore we broke it, but then we reverted back to it. Because you can break a curse in yourself, but don't break it for the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, we're trying to break a curse for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this. If I break the curse, I'm going to pass it on to my kids. And hopefully they can understand that if it's a curse, and they're going to protect themselves, and then they're going to pass it along to the next generation. So therefore, you got to continue to grow with it. So, like I said, if you're going to break the curse, stay focused and keep passing it on to the next generation. Finances, morals, everything that you believe to be true and honest, pass it on to the next generation and help the next generation accomplish what you accomplish. Mm-hmm. Don't be the first and only be the first of many.
So some of the keys in this topic is you can't be selfish. Mm-hmm. When you're breaking a generation curse, it's not just for today in your generation.
And yourself.
The whole purpose is for
your generation, your lineages, as it goes down the line. Everybody. Because if I said I'm everybody gonna be wealthy, I don't want to be the only one on top of the mountain. I want somebody with me on top of the mountain. It's lonely being on top by yourself. So guess what? If I have my whole family up there on the top of that mountain with me, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be smiling within myself.
You gotta work. You gotta work on it. You gotta, like I said, and then once you get there, you gotta, you made it. Now you gotta get everybody else there. You gotta teach them, make sure they understand it, before it could hold some value to it. It'd be like a bun. You have be able to really pass it on. Like I said, something that made me think of that is the Wayans brothers.
Right.
Well, I can't say brother, Wayne's family, so it started with one brother that decided to break a generational curse, and now the whole family, the whole family, they actually broke the curse and keeping it going. Each generation keeping it going.
Yeah, you think
about that's a good example.
Yeah, like the Kennedys.
Yeah.
Please, every lineage of the Kennedys born is a millionaire. Every one of them. So they ain't got to work for it. You know what? They go to the school. They have to learn how to keep it. So you still have to go to school. There's some stipulations. They got to go to school to learn how to keep the money. But they're all already millionaire from the day they're born. So that's it's not a generational curse. It's a generational blessing. So let's change those generational curses to generational blessings.
And I often say, they're going to be the next thing I say. I often ask, is that the proper way to say it? Generational curses. Curse. Because the word curse, that's not that's nothing that you want to hold on your family. Right. That's not curse. No. So like I said, so generational blessings.
Yeah, we're gonna change to generational blessings.
So I hope you all, I know you all got some good information out of this video. Like I say, I do hope you all go ahead and start your journey on breaking generational curses to change them to generational blessings. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment below anything you want to add to the topic. Share with your friends, share with your family, and let's start on this journey of breaking generational curses, so we could have generations of blessings.
Definitely. All right. Remember, as we learn, you learn.
I'm talking investment, making wealth with the cryptocurrency. Nothing to lose like a Martin Lawrence. Airbnb, just a little insurance. I'm popping the flexing. Remember when I had the band of grill? I hated a blessing. Like